Welcome to the ARC Entrepreneur Podcast, the podcast where ideas ignite, clarity strikes, and those aha moments are born. I'm Daniel.
I'm Derek, one half of the duo at ARC. Here, we're not just talking about business. We're sparking connections and uncovering real solutions for real entrepreneurs.
We are not gurus. We're entrepreneurs just like you, asking the questions every entrepreneur wants to ask, and even some you haven't thought of yet.
Yes, we'll sit down with the experts and business thought leaders, but we're also shining a light on the everyday entrepreneurs, the ones grinding it out in their shops, offices, or even their living rooms.
This podcast isn't about chasing billion-dollar valuations. It's about building the kind of success that fits your goals.
Whether you're dreaming of launching the next big tech startup, growing a side hustle, or just finding smarter ways to support your family, this is the place for you.
We're here to share real-world answers, proven methods, and resources to help you create the life you want to live.
Because at the end of the day, business is about more than profits. It's about possibilities.
So let's spark something great together. Welcome to the ARC. Let's dive in. All right, and welcome to the ARC Entrepreneur Podcast. I am Dan Callahan, and our other host is Derek Stone is with us today. And our guest today is Oren Powell. Oren is the founder and co-owner of Overpower Marketing. That's a digital marketing agency based here in Pensacola, Florida. With over 15 years of experience in marketing, Oren has a proven track record of helping businesses grow through innovative strategies and expert web design. He's born and raised here in Pensacola. He's deeply connected to the community. He shares his expertise as a professor as well at Pensacola State College. Clap, clap, clap. Inspiring the next generation of marketing and technology-driven professionals. Welcome, Oren.
Hey, thank you for having me. Cool.
Awesome. Well, Oren, kind of introduce yourself to our listeners, those who may not know you. Tell us a little bit about, you're born and raised here, but how did you get into business and what was your kind of upbringing? What led you to this point in your life?
So, my name is Oren Powell. I've been here all my life, born and raised, Beach Bum till I die. I guess I started getting into marketing when I was 18 years old. To be honest, I was actually thinking about just trying to get a job, make some extra money. And one of my dad's friends, his name is Eddie Hill, he started Prosperous High End. At the time, it wasn't a real thing yet, but he's like, hey, do you mind helping me with your doing some SEO for some of our clients here in the Pensacola area? And I was like, well, does it pay? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So I started messing around with it, and at first it was just a job, but then eventually it got better, where I actually was doing it for my dad for his condo rental company, and I was actually beating out these large corporations here on Pensacola Beach, and I'm like, wow. And he's not doing any type of marketing, he's not doing any type of ads. All that was done through the work that I was doing. I was like, wow, I'm actually doing this. And I was like, what else can I do with this? So I just started. It became more less of a job and more of an interest of how I could actually help businesses grow online, and get more sales and more leads for their business. Eventually, I became the manager over at Prosperous, and helped grow their business to 100 folds. Stayed with them for 10 years, and then I decided to part ways after 10 years and started helping out a local business in the area called Doodlebuggers, doing their marketing as well and helping with their sales, which, to be honest, that was a blessing in disguise. It was a very difficult job to work at, but it helped me build better work ethics and showing how much you could actually do in a short time period of the day, which is awesome. And then it also taught me how to run a business more on not just the marketing side and the sales side, but also how to run the business on a day-to-day activity, how to manage people, how to delegate tasks and stuff like that, which actually helped me grow the company to what is now called Overpower Marketing. Shortly after I left during the time I was at Doodlebuggers, I decided to like think of, do I actually want to do this for the rest of my life? Do I want to just go for an 8 to 5 job, Monday through Friday, working for someone else? Or at that place, it was Monday through Saturday, working over in Destin as well, making that long drive. And I was like, do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? So then I just decided to move on and do a different career, which is basically starting my own company as an entrepreneur with Overpower Marketing. And ever since then, we've been growing for the last 3.5 years now. And I'm just completely blessed. So it's been a blessing ever since.
I like that question you asked yourself. I think every entrepreneur, that's how they started there. Do I want to spend the rest of my life working for somebody else, or do I want to do it for them? Tell us about like that point when you made that decision, like because there's probably a lot of people out there that are at that point,
Sure.
but taking
So
that
tech,
plunge is a little different, right?
no, I
What
completely
pushed you
agree.
over?
So what pushed me over was I was working the job and I was just it was literally working start coming into work sometimes at before 8 o'clock and leaving when it was dark. And I mean, this is during summertime sometimes, and it didn't bother me. I was just like, I was going to just keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward. It's always going to get better. It's eventually going to get better and stuff like that. And then one of my coworkers that had a good relationship there decided that they were going to put in their nose and move on to a different, move somewhere else. I was like, and then it just kind of clicked to me. It's like, dang, why am I still working here? Because I guess that was the only reason why I was still working there because I had those relationships at the office. And then there was another guy that worked there. He's been working there for 10, 15 years, and he would get up at well, go into work around 6 o'clock sometimes, and didn't get home until 9. And then it just like dawned on me, it's like, do I actually want to do something like that, day in and day out, or do I want to set my own schedule and what I could do and when can I actually spend time with my family and when can I just take off or when can I just focus from 3 o'clock in the morning all the way until 11 o'clock at night if I wanted to. And sometimes that's the case with being an entrepreneur. Sometimes you're going to be go into work super early, working until super late hours. But to be honest, it's a blessing because you're actually seeing something that you made and seeing it grow and helping not only yourself, but if you have employees, you're helping them with their own families sometimes. So it's just very beneficial in that way. But I think that was the turning point was seeing other people at that job working those hours and then having people leave the job as well that you have these great relationship and then it's just like realizes like kind of dawned on me it's like, do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? So I guess that would be the answer.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a difference working for yourself, even longer hours for sure,
Mhm.
and seeing those kind of benefits. Well, help us out. There's probably a lot of people listening, and I know I've run business. Derek currently has a business that is growing. Why is marketing so important? How has it changed even over the last few years? Has it become more important, or is it morphed in how you use it? Or, I mean, talk about that new entrepreneur going out. How can marketing make a difference?
Marketing can definitely make a difference for almost any business out there. The thing is, it's always changing. It's always adapting. There's always new trends going out. I mean, to be honest, we could just talk about the last couple of years how SEO has changed just because of AI. I mean, many people aren't even going on Google searches and typing in, let's say, plumbers near me or something like that. Now they're just going to AI and just like, hey, ChatGPT, tell me what are the best companies in the areas to work with and then they'll just do the search right there. So even when it comes to like SEO, that has changed tremendously. So just being able to overcome and adapt and follow trends that are working that way, ads as well.
Hey, let me ask you, because I don't want to interrupt you, but I keep hearing and seeing articles and things like that SEO is dead. Is SEO dead?
No, it's not at all. I would definitely say it might have changed on where you need to focus on. The same things, just like 10, 15 years ago, the things that you did 10, 15 years ago was different 5 to 10 years ago. So all it is just adapting to what are the newest trends. You're still going to be able to do SEO for AI. What is AI looking for to see why you're number one in that area? All they're doing is searching the web, just like Google was doing, and Yahoo and Bing was doing, to find out why they were considered number one. Now AI is doing the same thing, but in their own parameters. So has has it changed? Yes. Is it dead? No, not at all. It just has adapted and changed to different ways that you have to find. and how to rank for those specific keywords or specific areas that you want to show up in.
So the new entrepreneur, where do they need to start?
Well, number one, you just need to find a person that you could work with. You just like if you go to the gym, it's easier to go to gym when you have a gym partner to go and motivate you, push you, even just to like if you're not having a good day, just knowing that you have someone going to the gym with you to work out. You need to find that other person in your life that is going to help push you with your business, and most likely it might have to be your counter opposite of you. I mean, if someone is more into the operations, you might need to find someone that is into sales. Maybe you're more of focusing on the business where someone needs to be an extrovert talking to people. I mean, I was lucky to have a good mentor, aka my dad, Mr. Powell. He's been a tremendous assets in my life, not only just for the business, but just growing up, just having that business mentality on how to become an entrepreneur and find different ways to how to grow yourself, not in just one business, because that's the thing about entrepreneurs is you might not be just running one business. You might be running 3 to 5 different businesses and investing in multiple different areas. So I would definitely say find that business partner, find that person in your life that could push you and motivate you and work on your weaknesses just as much as you could work on their weaknesses. And then on top of that, I mean, take it to the next step and join some masterminds, join some entrepreneur clubs where you could actually learn from others and better yourself because of that.
Awesome. I know a key connection. I mean, that's how Derek and I met. That's how Oren. That's how you and I met as well. Is just connection, and I think that's the hardest part, especially for a new entrepreneur,
You
is
want to
is
know
the
something I
networking
learned
part.
just the other day? I
Yeah.
was just reading in fact, it was kind of funny. I was just reading my Bible and I was going through Proverbs, and Solomon was talking about how um, just your regular person, you learn from your mistakes, but a wise person actually learns from others' mistakes. So that's what you probably want to do with masterminds is because you're going to learn from those people's mistakes and overcome them and make yourself better because of that. So that's just another reason why you want to join groups and other business or people you want to become like so you could grow and be better yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, Derek, you had some questions for him, and how are you transitioning through?
Yeah, so we were talking about it before I asked my first question. You talked about adapting, and adapting is huge in business, right? So adapting, we all got to adapt because it's constantly changing. Business is constantly changing. But my big question for you is, you talked about Mr. Powell, and Mr. Powell on Prosperous, and he's a big part of your life. Obviously, that's your father, and you worked for him for a number of years, and then you stepped out onto your own. Now, Prosperous is a big name in the industry, especially in our area. How do you leave and feel comfortable starting your own business? Or how's that intimidation factor going? You know what? It's time to step out and not only do this work that I know how to do, but do it and feel comfortable that I can compete. And not only compete, but compete against, my father.
Yeah, that is a great question, and I guess at first it was very intimidating at first, but the nice thing is it gave me that benchmark, that goal of what I need to accomplish. Where do I need to get to? How can I see myself successful? And that was probably the first benchmark was trying to see it's like how do I beat Prosperous? How do I beat my old company that I used to work for? How do I beat out my dad? So that was always a cool feature in my head. So I definitely agree with that. Starting the company, I would definitely say that was a scary factor as well because um, you don't know what the future is going to hold. You could just start this business and it could completely flunk because I mean most small businesses when they first start, uh, they end up quitting or losing the business go under after the first 5 years or by the first year. So I'm just blessed to make it through the first year and hopefully I can make it to the fifth year as well. So that was a big scary part. It was like if I take this step how do I know that it's actually not only going to compete against a company like Prosperous that's big in this area, but also be able to make it off the ground and actually become something. So I think it was just that motivation that, hey, I'm going to push through. I have something to reach after. I have a goal. I have um, I guess, for example, you set your goals to the moon. If you go past that, you go towards the stars at least, even if you don't meet that goal. So if you have goals that are super high, nice thing is, even if you don't complete those goals, you still succeed so much in your life. And I think that was one thing that we talked about in our Wednesday classes. Is like we don't take the time and just looking back and to seeing what we have succeeded. In fact, just from the conversation we have, I never even thought of how much I have accomplished in the last 3 years with the company. I still think of it that what's the next thing? What's the next step? What do I need to do for this year? What do I need to do for the next year? And then seeing that I'm actually still in business, and most companies aren't when they first start. Here I am, 3 years in. I'm taking care of not only my dad's income, but my brother's income, and five, six other employees as well, and able to support them. So that, I mean, to me, that's a blessing. Being able not only to help myself but others is always a meaningful thing.
So a follow up to that would be, what would you say you would tell somebody would be important to think about when they're wanting to step out from their current, because you talked about, like leaving your employer. You've been an employer for 10 plus years, 20 years, 15 years, 5 years, whatever it may be, and you're attached to them either because they treat you well or because you feel like you can't get out and start your business. You can't get from 0 to 1, much less 0 to 100.
Correct.
What's the first step to doing it? Would you say it's just do it and don't think about it? What would be your answer?
I would say that's a little bit part of it, but I think there's actually two factors. Number one, focus, making sure you're staying focused on what you're wanting to do. It's technically, if you're starting a new company, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. It's not being able to not work all day and go to the beach and enjoy, and the business will still be there. It's making sure that you're focused and making sure that you're consistent. So there was plenty of times where, as soon as I got off work, working at Doodlebuggers, I went home and started working on my company. So that means working additional hours. So I mean, I'm already working an 8 to 5, even 8 to 6, 8 to 7 hour job, and then going back to my house and then working on my business to see what I could do. Taking those investments as well. I had to put my own personal money into the business to start it up, just to make sure that it works out. So the two key factors is number one, staying focused on what you want to do. Don't lean away from other decisions. I mean, if it's not working, well, guess what? It's not always going to work. You're going to fail here and there, and you're going to, and those are the best things about your business because you're going to adapt, overcome. You'll know next time that, hey, that didn't work, but hey, maybe this will work. So don't be afraid to fail. Be focused on what you're wanting to do with your business, and then being consistent, doing it on a regular basis, whether it be on a weekly basis, daily basis, whatever it has to be to make sure that you get to your goal.
Yeah, I had a question too. I mean, if you went into marketing, was that because you were already involved in it, or was it because you saw, well, there's unlimited potential in this, or there's great potential in this? How much of that affected your decision that you were already in it? Or if you weren't already in it, would you have chosen being in marketing, and why?
I The reason why I chose marketing is because I was happy doing it. I actually was excited to see businesses get leads, get business, grow because of what I was doing. That was it wasn't even about the money. It was more about seeing businesses grow, seeing people being happy, seeing that they're actually succeeding in their business as well as much as I'm succeeding in my business. So I think that was the biggest factor is making sure that you choose something that you love. Don't go after the money. Go after something that you would enjoy 24 day in and day out. Whenever you wake up in the morning, is it something that you want to do, or is it something that you just want to? I don't want to go into work today. If that's what you're thinking on that day, you might not be in the right industry. You might need to find a different job. You might need to find a different career. Now, if you're saying I don't want to wake up because you just don't want to work, but not because of what you love to do, like for example, there's days when I'm doing marketing, I just don't want to work because there's just like 6, 7, 8 meetings that day, and I'm going to be over and then I'm going to have sorry. I have so many emails that day where I feel like I won't be able to accomplish anything. If that's the reason, guess what? We're all going through that at some point, at some time. But if you're waking up in the morning like you don't even want to work your job just because it's whatever you're doing, you might need to find a different career. But that was the one thing that I was blessed about is I found a career that I actually love doing day in and day out.
That's awesome. Not everybody finds that, but I think entrepreneurs have a higher chance of being able to do that because, like you said, you get to choose.
Yeah.
It's not about throwing in applications and hoping something sticks and working a 9 to 5 on it. So, I mean, there's people out there that I know. There's a lot of people that dream that they're those we call them one dayers. One day I'm going to start my own business, right? There's the one of the reasons Derek and I do this because there are so many people that are so capable of doing it who don't, right? And sometimes it can take just meeting that right person or hearing that right thing. That's why we call it the arc, that spark between, the right two people, and that happens, right? So one conversation on a podcast can make the difference for somebody. One networking opportunity can make a difference for somebody. Somebody could never have even considered being a marketing agency before, right? So let's say that I'm not trying to give you more competition here, but somebody says, "Hey, I love marketing. I love the same thing. I love building other businesses and seeing them successful, me being successful, and doing something that I love, but I don't know where to start." Yeah, how do I even get into a marketing agency? Is it overly difficult? Does it require a college degree? Does it require certifications? I know Grant Cardone, the great Cardone, says everybody should start a marketing agency today, right? And there's a particular reason for that, I'm sure. So give some advice. I mean, don't leave anything out because you don't want competition. I mean, you're doing well. Okay, give somebody else a shot too. Uh,
No
where
problem, no
where does
problem.
somebody
Well,
start? I mean, what does it look like running a marketing agency?
well, first things first. Funny thing is, I've already helped like so many other agencies. Uh, there's a, there's a bad echo again. Oh, I'm sorry. Just to start off, I've been helping out a lot of agencies already in the last couple of months. In fact, I think 20% of my clients are now agencies that we're actually helping start their own entrepreneur business, their own marketing company to help grow their company day in to day out. In fact, we just helped one company recently in the last week just start their own marketing company and get their first client, and now they're making two, three, four, $5,000 a week just because of what we taught them and how they grow, and they had that power within them to push through and get there. Now, to start your business, one, you don't need a degree. You don't need a certificate. I do recommend that you go out there and go learn that information. Try to get some ideas of what you want to do, how you want to succeed, and there's multiple ways to do marketing as well. Um, once again, I would choose to focus on what you want to do when it comes to marketing. Don't go out and just throw a fishing net out there and try to do every type of service out there that people want. Try to focus on one thing. One thing I just told someone earlier today is like he wants to get into marketing, and I told him, "Well, have you tried reputation?" And he said, "What do you mean? What? Why would I want to help people with their reputation?" It's like, well, to be honest, if I rank someone number one on Google, but they have a 3-star rating or a 2-star rating, guess what? You're basically promoting yourself that you suck at what you do. So that's probably the biggest. That's probably bigger than SEO or doing paid ads because all you're doing is promoting yourself that you're not good at what you do. So helping them with their reputation is great. So I basically told them like, hey, just Google plumbers over in Miami. Go to the Google Maps and find everyone that's below a 4-star rating and give them a call. And it's like, hey, I see you have below a 4-star rating on Google. I could definitely help you get your ratings back up to something that's above 4 stars or even a 5-star rating. And right there will automatically benefit them so much if they just focus on just that one avenue. So once again, you don't need a degree. Stay focused and focus on one thing that you're good at. Find that thing that you want to do for a business. Start reaching out to them. You're going to have to make some cold calls probably. We all have to do that. Even me. I've done that almost every single week for the last year now. So don't be afraid to talk to someone. So yeah, stay focused. Find that little spot that you want to focus on, and on top of that, niche down. Focus on a specific type of industry. Let's say a plumber, um, and then you try to see what does a plumber need on a day-to-day basis. Are they needing more calls? And if they're needing more calls, what are they calling about? What are their services that they're offering that is more lucrative to them? For example, a dentist. A dentist might want more leads, but they don't want someone that's going to come in for teeth whitening or teeth cleanup or something like that. They want someone that actually wants like a root canal or cavities replacement or dentures replaced or something like that. So it's not always about getting leads. It's more about the quality of leads too. I'm assuming Derek's the same way. Obviously, he doesn't want to go out and clean gutters. And he probably doesn't want to do your standard gutter. He'll probably want to do some custom copper gutters. If he gets a bunch of those, man, he's set for life. If he gets that like once a week. So that'd be a great example right there. It's just find that specific niche, find that specific service that you know will benefit that specific niche, and then staying focused. And then making sure that you're always educating yourself, because one thing about marketing is it's always changing. So you're going to have to learn.
Always be learning.
Yeah, always be learning.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to one of the things that we talked about in our group, Oren, which is focus on value over money. And when we focus on value, offering value and getting value, typically, you're going to give not only earnings for the client, your earnings yourself are going to expand, right? So finding that value, what's that value? Well, the value is going to be whatever is important to the customer, whatever is important to you. So focusing on that value, obviously then it turns on that faucet of income that you just cannot turn off. You tap into it, because you're looking at it in a whole new perspective, rather than the traditional business mindset of, how much money can we drive in? Well, you're driving it in, that's okay, but you're losing out on so much more. You're not paying attention to the right details.
Well, let me ask you too, because a lot of people will see that question between value and quantity. Because you see a lot of business owners out there throwing out a lot of quantity, and they're making a lot of money. And then you're sitting back and going like, well, I'm trying to do the right thing, and I'm not making as much money, right? How do you stay focused through that, Derek? I mean, how does that, and Oren, I mean, what drives you to it? I mean, you got bills to pay, right?
The funny thing is, some of the biggest names in marketing, their main focus is giving out everything for free. They literally give out all their information, that are all their templates that they made, all their information on how they grow their business, absolutely free. They just send it out and give it to the public. And just because of that, they are the biggest names. They make the most money because of how much traffic is going to them, because they got that know, like, and trust factors. Like, hey, they're not trying to get every penny out of me. They actually want to see me succeed. And it's just crazy. And these people are making millions of dollars every single year just by giving stuff for free. So in that way, I would definitely agree with Derek.
Yeah, I mean,
how do they make money then? Come back? Is that just come back around to?
So there's a couple
just
things.
Decide to work with them.
Yes. So there's three ways they make money. One, obviously YouTube is one way, because the more traffic they get to their YouTube channels or their podcasts or whatever it is, they're showing all that value. So people are just going there just because they know they're going to get some great information from it. So they're getting that money from YouTube and other platforms because they're able to show their ads on their videos, and that's how they make their money. That's number one. Number two is through affiliates, being able to show, like, there's going to be, to do some of these things, they're going to need some type of software to do it. So during their time where they're giving away all this free information, they might bring up the fact, it's like, hey, we personally use this person on Fiverr for all of our searching for businesses, or we use this software to do all of our email blasts or automations and stuff. And just doing all those different affiliates right there, they're getting money that way as well because people are signing up just to try out what these guys were taught to do. And then I guess the third thing is people just want more information. It's like, hey, I just want to have a one-on-one meeting with you. Can I just have a consultation? And then they're paying for the consultation as well. So I those are three different ways that these people are making money.
I heard it best from you. I believe it's from you, Oren, and it's about it's not who's best; it's about who's best known, right? So you don't even have to be the best in your industry, as long as you're giving out enough information. Somehow your pocketbook will get full.
Yeah,
That's correct, for
that's
sure.
smart. That's smart. Well, let me ask you, Oren, a basic question. So we've got an entrepreneur that wants to start out, whatever business it is. From a marketing and digital standpoint, what's the basics? And try to be as specific as we can. I mean, is Google business page, isn't a website important to have when you get started? What social media to do, what to stay away from, what's the most engaging? And I'm starting a business. I don't have a lot of money. I'd love to hire somebody like you, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs would love to hire a market agency just to start out with, right? But a lot of them don't have money to start with. That's one of those kind of excuses entrepreneurs have. So what could an entrepreneur do to launch a business inexpensively? I mean, obviously nothing's free, but inexpensively, what's the basics that can really make an impact for a new entrepreneur?
Great question. So you got to think of it in two different ways. One, how much time you're going to put into something, and number two, how much money you're going to put into something. So the if you don't want to spend for someone that does the marketing and everything, you're probably going to end up putting a lot more time into it, but you're going to be saving a lot more money. Whereas if you get someone that knows marketing or hire someone that on your team as a marketer, we're going to spend a little bit more money, but that's less time that you need to work on. So you got to find that perfect middle spot that makes you happy. Because to me personally, time is a lot more precious than money. We're only given so much time on this planet to do so much. Money, it's gone. It could as soon as you die, it's gone. There's nothing to it. And you could have as little money or as much money as you want, but that doesn't make you happy. All right, I just had to start on that. So now getting into the details, if you want to do it yourself, highly recommend, especially for when you're first starting out, because there is a lot of free resources out there to help grow your business. Number one, yes, Google My Business is probably the best thing to do because that's just as soon as you sign up. Now, granted, it depends on your type of business. It's very helpful if it's a service-based company. If you're like a plumber, HVAC, it's really great if you're a brick and mortar company. If you're e-commerce, it might not be the best in that situation, but so it really depends on case by case on your situation. But for brick and mortar
Because it has to
services,
be attached to a physical location.
yeah,
Is
mainly
that
because Google My
okay?
Business is more of a physical location, even if it's a service area that you serve or a physical brick and mortar that people come and visit to, or it could be a hybrid of both. So that would be number one. Highly recommend that. Um, a website would probably be next. You could probably get a website for very cheap and very easy. Wix is probably a good one to start off with. WordPress. It doesn't even have to be an actual, you buy the domain, you host the website. It could be something that you could just get off of WordPress.org, where they give you basically a free website to host information on, and you could just make it, let's say, for my situation, it could have been overpowermarketing.wordpress.org, and that would have been completely free. And then I'd be able to share all my information that I serve. After that, then it's actually building your presence online. Like Derek was saying, it's not you don't have to be the best at everything. You just have to be best at being the well known. So going for the SEO purpose, trying to get those listings out there because Yelp, that's free. Just create a listing on Yelp, creating a Facebook page, creating a TikTok, and doing videos. Anywhere that you can make content at. So having a YouTube channel and just telling about the services that you offer, and then turning that video into an MP3 where it now you could put it onto a podcast or something like that. and then turning that podcast into a transcript where you can now share that as a blog or share it as a PDF sharing site. So that way you're sending out that information in multiple different areas. Sending out articles. There's a lot of places where you could share articles at. And then on top of that, being able to point those articles, those blogs, those podcasts, those YouTube channels back to your website. So that way, not only people can find more information about you, but also to help you rank for specific keywords that you want to rank for as well. That would be a number. That would be something good to do because there is a lot of places to do for free. It just might take a little extra time to build those listings. So just be prepared for that. Uh, Number three, maybe find some very cheap, affordable software out there that you could do it yourself. I mean, we have an awesome sales and marketing software we could choose from, but not just that. I mean, if you're trying to focus on doing email blasts, um, using MailChimp. So build out your email list together, and then sending out email to do nurture campaigns because that's free for up to a certain point. Constant contact would be also something like that. You could use social media scheduling if you do a lot of social media posts, especially if you sell a lot of products. Um, it might be good to start posting a lot to Pinterest, onto Facebook, onto TikTok, so that way you can show the cool features about your product and everything. So that could be one thing. The list goes on and on, but go out there and find those free resources that you could sign up for. Even if it's just a free trial, sometimes that's just beneficial enough just to get the ball rolling sometimes. Because I know you said there's a lot of things, nothing in life is free. That is true. You have to put some time into it. You might have to do a little bit extra on top of that. But there are some free resources out there to help grow your company. You just might have to put a little extra time to get those things set up.
So what I'm hearing then, Oren, is you can really get started on a penny or a dime, right? If you put in the effort. It doesn't
If you
take
put in the
big
effort,
dollars.
correct.
And from my
Exactly.
perspective, even from my perspective, and I got a little bit of a different avenue, I can see how in our business people can get started on a cheaper rather than throwing tons of money into it if they just coax their way through and get to the next step and then to the next step rather than trying to go to the 50-yard line and then get going.
Exactly.
Yeah. Excellent information.
You don't win games by throwing Hail Marys. You win games by getting the first down to the next first down to the next first down. You don't have to throw Hail Marys every single time. Hail Marys do come nicely when they're a completion, that's for sure.
That's right.
But you don't have to think about getting that touchdown. The first thing you should think about is getting that first down to get to that final step of getting the winning the game.
Yeah, and in here in 2024, I mean, we got so much resources, so many resources out here. It's unbelievable. You know, you got YouTube and Google and you name it. People are everywhere on podcasts and videos, and everybody is literally trying to give information away. It's everywhere. You know, free trials of all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%. It doesn't take a whole lot. It just takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, correct. And even if you haven't started your business, the first thing you can do is just give out free information that you learned about whatever the service that you want. I mean, that's probably the best thing to do because now you're going back to what we were talking about earlier, giving that information out for free, and then becoming well known because people just want to just uh, come to you just because of what you're offering to them for no cost. And then they want to do business with you at that point.
Yeah, I think it takes a mind shift for people because I think, oddly, Oren, I was telling this to your dad. I'm a traditionalist, even though I'm 41. Yes, it's older than I used to say. Oh, I'm only in my 20s. Now I'm old. A lot of times I'm still traditional. You know, when I think of starting a business, you know, it's like, all right, let's get that brick and mortar. Let's get that office staff, you know, the dinger on the door. You know, business is different, you know, and sometimes it's like it's easier to throw things at people. Oh, I've got to hire this, or I've got to hire this, or buy this and do this. There's so much in this world that's for free. And, you know, I even heard Elon Musk say, you don't even have to go to college to learn how to code and be like, you know, a computer engineer. It's all free online. Go look, and it blows my mind. And I think people get overwhelmed because they're like, I don't do social media. You want me to go make TikTok videos and YouTube videos and podcasts and do all this? I don't even, I still have to restart my computer every time it goes on. A lot of people are thinking that, right? But
Mhm.
there's so many things that are out there that are free and easy to do, and it just takes just trying it, just go doing it, and taking that time to be able to do it and say, doing one. I have a very little foray into TikTok and things like that. I did one TikTok 3 years ago. I did one, and it got 1.3 million views. I've never done another video because I just wanted to go out on top, right? And it's
There
like,
you
you know,
go.
but and then other people do videos and it's got like 12, and it's an incredible video. It's just figuring it out and doing it. Derek is great at making those kind of videos and things like that. There's a lot of people coming in our age, and I don't know how old you are, and I'm not going to ask you on the podcast, but you're roughly in our age group. I mean, Derek, you're a lot older than I am, but even you had a cell phone probably in high school. But I remember my first cell phone. You may not have. I
They
mean,
didn't make
my
them back
cell
when I
phone in
was.
high school. No, my cell phone in high school only held 99 numbers. Okay, I mean, and I couldn't think of even knowing that many people. So there's a lot of people going in and looking at a lot of this technology and saying, "Oh, gosh, I don't even want to start. It seems overwhelming." But just start with the simple, just like you're saying. Hey, just start with a Google page. See how that works for you, right? Ask Oren. Ask Oren how to do, I've worked with Oren before. Oren has always been ready. Hey, whatever. Hey, just tell me a time. I'll meet with you and I'll help you with whatever you need. Not everybody is like that. And I think, we don't want just more entrepreneurs in this world. We want entrepreneurs that are going to bring value to the community, bring value to the world, bring value to their families, and that can operate with integrity like you do, Warren. And we wouldn't have somebody on here that we didn't think operated with integrity or with value. And I think that's the value that you bring. And when people are looking for a business to start, uh, there's probably a lot of businesses out there that can make you a lot of money real fast, but not very many of them bring value. Not
I
very
did
many
forget
can.
one big factor that we now have today. I mean, the first thing that you probably I would recommend going to as well is just going to ChatGPT. All that information is right there at your fingertip, no matter what question. As soon as you brought up programming, I was like, oh yeah, I could just go on ChatGPT and learn C++, Python, C Sharp, whatever language I want, build a program on my computer and know absolutely nothing about programming. Same thing with marketing. You could just backtrack on all these big companies in your area. So let's say you're trying to start your own plumbing company. You could just ask ChatGPT. It's like, who are the top plumbers in Pensacola? It'll give you all the names right there. Okay, why are they number one? Why are they the top plumbers in the area? And then they'll just clearly give you a list of everything about those companies. And then now you have a game plan of how to grow your company. It's like, all right, if they're doing this, I need to do this plus one. If they're doing this, I just need to do this plus one or something like that. And just go off a checklist right there. I mean, you have that resource for something like that. Or let's say you're just not good at making content. Guess what? ChatGPT is great at that. It'll just build
Mhm.
as much content as you want right there at your fingertip. You're not good at making videos. Maybe you're just uncomfortable in front of a screen. Have them build a transcript for you. So now you have this awesome transcript that you can put on teleprompter or right in front of your screen and just do a podcast or a video right there in front, just giving information. You don't even have to know about the business. All you got to do
Sure.
is just go to ChatGPT, ask them a specific question, and then talk about it. That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT and AI has just changed the landscape totally. I mean, absolutely, 100%. I still forget it's there sometimes, and I'm like, why am I doing all this hard work? You
And
know,
my wife doesn't
ChatGPT
even
could just
believe
do
that
it
I can
for me.
write anymore. She's like, is that ChatGPT?
I know. Derek sent me this beautifully written paragraph about who we were as ARC. And I was like, man, that's beautiful. He goes, ChatGPT does a great job. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you could have just taken credit for it and ran. But that was
I'm
I
not
would
gonna
have,
lie.
I just give up.
I'm
That's
not gonna
awesome.
lie, the description that I made, I threw in ChatGPT and sent it over to you afterwards, just to
Hey, it
clean it
was
up.
beautiful. It was beautiful. Well, let me ask you. We talked about people, some of those cheap ways. What's the benefit of of hiring an agency like you when businesses get to that point where hey, it's time to put some real money in? Okay, what's the difference, right? What is the
uh,
difference that a marketing agency has?
Well, yeah, definitely number one is now you're getting away from spending time and going something a little bit more precious, time. It's like you're taking that time off of your hand where you can focus on what you do best with your company. Why did you go into business? Chances are, if you're a plumber, you didn't go to business to do marketing. You came to do what you love to do, which is plumbers. And I know keep bringing it up, but that's just a simple terminology I could think of off the top of my head that you could think of. But taking away putting away that time that you have to focus on other things is the number one factor. Number two, the knowledge base. You're not just hiring one person. Chances are you're hiring a team of people doing all these items. So not only were you doing this by yourself, now you have five, six, seven people helping you build out all these different things. So let's say you have a marketing agency that's doing, sorry, I got a call. Let's say you have an agency that's doing your SEO, your reputation, your paid ads, your social media, all that before you were doing it yourself or hiring someone for a lot more, by the way. Chances are, I mean, what is eventually minimum wage is going to be $15 an hour. So you're spending a good chunk of change just to hire on a marketing person to do that. You're spending a lot less money with a marketing agency to do all that and have a team available to help you with those different avenues. So having saving you on time, saving you on money, saving you on uh, the knowledge as well. So that way you don't have to look up all this. You have a team that's always learning, always adapting, always trying to grow and help you grow your companies in all these different ways. So I think it would be those three factors for sure: time, money, and knowledge.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate it. It's been awesome. I think being able to just kind of hear from somebody from a digital marketing expertise and that kind of help people get going, how doable it is, how manageable it is, I think is a big factor in helping people get over that line of 1 day to 2 day, and being able to do
Yes,
something
definitely.
that's of value that helps them. I think everybody, and I've had this conversation more with more business people in the last few weeks, of having a purpose in life, and having a purpose that goes beyond just ourselves, that impacts our family, impacts our communities, impacts generations going before. And when we do it, we want to do it well. And so that's why we want to hear from people like you that can help us make all of this busyness and all of this everything that's out there just be a little bit more edible and a little bit more into small bites, and to start make that first step more of a step and less of a leap, that makes it a little bit more doable.
And there's
But you've done
one thing I would like to add on top of that that's perfect for anyone that wants to start their own company. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait to have your brick and mortar company. Don't wait for just all these different aspects to help start your company. Go ahead and just do what you have right there and go ahead and move forward. Because if you wait for perfection, guess what? One day will always be one day. Go
yep,
ahead and just start now. If you make a mistake, oh well. You learn from it, you overcome, you adapt, and figure out what's best next time. If you're always
yep,
trying to find, okay, I'm going to make sure this is perfect, I'm going to make sure this email blast, I'm going to make sure the words are correct. If you're always doing that, you're just going to waste valuable time of learning from that and moving forward and adapting and getting better.
yeah. I think
So,
one of Derek's favorite phrases is done is better than perfect. Did I get that right?
yes.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, Oren, if people want to get in touch, what's the best way that they can reach you and learn more about Overpower?
Sure. I guess a couple of easiest ways to reach out is through our website, overpowermarketing.com, and just schedule a meeting. That actually schedule the meeting directly with me on a one-on-one meeting. Uh, and normally you could have a meeting with me that same day or the next day if you want. You could also reach out to me through my email, Oren@overpowermarketing.com, or better yet, come to our Wednesday class in Marcus Point Entrepreneur Club. I'm almost there every time, so I'll be glad to talk to anyone there as well.
Fantastic. Awesome. We'll have all those links under the podcast when this is out, and you'll be able to get a hold of Oren and get a hold of us. And we want to hear from you as well. And anything that we can do to help entrepreneurs who are trying to build their business and grow something of significance, or if it's your first time and you're ready to go, we're here to help. We want to ask the right questions of the right people, just like Oren. So thank you, Oren, for joining us today. We loved having you.
Thank you for having
Hope
me.
to have you on again soon. All right.
You're my friend.
Have a good one.